Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the National Automatic Sprinkler Industry Trust Fund's employer portal, EmployerXG, a useful resource to electronically report labor and remit fringe benefit fund contributions. NASI EmployerXG is available for any employer which has signed a collective bargaining agreement or project labor agreement with a UA Sprinkler Fitters local union, has sprinkler fitters working under the UA National Maintenance Agreement, or has assigned bargaining rights to the National Fire Sprinkler Association. Every employer who participates with NASI funds is assigned an employer contributions analyst who serves as their primary point of contact with the NASI fund office. The analyst works directly with the employer to determine which local unions, territories, and classes of apprenticeship apply to their covered labor, and the analyst configures a profile with this information and sends an email to the employer with a link to register on the NASI EmployerXG site. Let's take a look at an example employer. Ventura Fire Protection, Inc. of Minneapolis signs collective bargaining agreements with UA Sprinkler Fitters Local 417 and UA Road Sprinkler Fitters Local 669 to cover all sprinkler fitter work performed in Minnesota. Ventura then informs their analyst that they have 4 employees performing covered sprinkler fitter work: a journeyman, a Class 7 apprentice, a Class 4 apprentice, and a Class 1 apprentice. The analyst configures Ventura's profile with the necessary Local 417 and Local 669 report classes, then sends an email to the employer's primary contact with a link to register on EmployerXG. The employer contact follows the link and creates an administrator account using this registration form. After registering, the employer contact has full access to the portal as an administrator for their organization. From the employer profile, they can add additional contacts, additional users with tiered levels of access, set copying preferences, change which users are notified of scheduled and processed submissions, and enter bank account information to facilitate payment by electronic funds transfers. From the Home tab, administrators and operators can access pre-listed reports by reference number, due date, status, whether they're past due, the specific month being reported, and a description stating the local territory class and other details. The user begins by opening one of the pre-listed reports. They add each employee by keying in their social security number. Validation of last name and birth date is required on all initial reports. In the column to the right, they enter the hours of covered work done by the employee. This is repeated for all employees in this classification and territory. Any unnecessary reports may be filed as no work by clicking the boxes on the left, pressing the no work button, and answering yes to confirm and remove them from the Home tab. All non-417 work in Minnesota is reported under Local 669, District 28. If the payroll disbursement date field is displayed, a date must be entered to complete the report. The user can click on a completed line, press the Details button, and view all rates and amounts assessed in that report per fund. Pressing the Employees button returns them to report entry. Upon completion of the report, it may be added to a cart specific to that user. Once the user has completed their entire set of reports, they proceed to their cart to remit the total amounts owed to each fund. They can use the Summary by Fund button to generate a PDF invoice of the amounts being paid per report per fund. And they can use the Apply Payment button to initiate a set of ACH payments in the specific amounts owed to each fund to be processed by the next business day. All reports submitted from the cart screen are saved and immediately available from the History screen. From here, PDF receipts for reports submitted via electronic funds transfer can be generated and could be provided to business partners for verification of fringe benefits paid. Data may be copied from a filed report to a subsequent report. A due report is selected by clicking the checkbox on its left, the copy button is pressed, and then the user is prompted to select a previously filed report from their history from which to copy. All employees on that report are then imported, with or without hours, and wages if applicable, depending on the user's configuration settings. Only due reports may import contents of previous filings. In-progress reports must be deleted to return to due status for importing data. EmployerXG also facilitates contributions for non-bargain participants with the NASI funds. These are most commonly new owners who are alumni. The guidelines for participation in the Sprinkler Industry Fund state rules for whether a person is considered a non-collectively bargained employee on the kind of work they perform and whether they or their spouse have ownership interests, determine what work is to be bid, hire or fire other employees, or receive pay or benefits not provided as part of a collective bargaining agreement. Please note that being classified as non-collectively bargained in no way interferes with membership or good standing that an alumnus has with the local. If an eligible non-bargain employee is obligated or elects to participate with a NASI fund, they must be party to a participation agreement with said fund. The analyst provides the relevant participation agreement upon request and adds special report classes for them after properly executed participation agreements are received from the employer. All non-bargain participants with the welfare fund pay a flat monthly rate. Here, the owner keys themselves with a quantity of 1 for the September payment, which extends their coverage through the end of October. Like the reports for bargain employees, this has a due date of September 15th. Non-bargain participants with the pension or supplemental pension funds have hours and wages entered and pay amounts due according to the current journeyman rates. Non-collectively bargained employees must be reported in specific non-collectively bargained employee classes listed on their employer portal. NASI EmployerXG empowers employers to electronically file and retrieve hours reports and remit contributions for both bargain and non-bargain participants. Thanks for your time.